So what's blooming in Zone 7A in the north? First to bloom is the honeyberry. This actually bloomed maybe last week in March, and now the leaves came out. So the pollinating partner, this one is partially self-fertile. The pollinating partner is also blooming here. And the serviceberry, I don't know if these are flower buds. If these are, this will be the first time it flowers. They don't look like leaf buds, or I don't know. I have to Google this. What do you think about serviceberry? Okay, first time blooming, my Korean giant pear, which I grafted on a European pear, the honey sweet. So they should cross-pollinate each other. But my main tree, the Korean pear, has no flower buds on it. So I don't know. I guess grafting this guy here kind of pushed these to flower. Not to get too sidetracked, I just wanted to show what was flowering and some of the stuff I wanted to test for hardiness. But yeah, this is that Asian pear, the main tree. No flowers anywhere. But I stuck a scion from that honey sweet pear over here. If my phone would focus. Yeah, there we go. And I think that bud is just tore out of the parafilm. Yeah, the purpose of the video was to show what survived the winter. The plants that I thought were marginal did well at 0 degrees and 9 days of freezing weather. There's sugarcane in here, so if it sprouts, I'll definitely make a post about that. It's buried maybe 3 or 4 inches, and then there's mulch on top, like an inch or two. Yeah, this fig tree, don't know what it is, but it is hardy here. And if I scratch the bark, it should be green. I don't want to injure this too much, but yeah, just take my word for it. It's green under the bark. Maybe there's some bud swelling. It's still too early. Multi-grafted cherry starting to flower as well. So there are drawbacks to multi-grafted trees. I talked about this. Sometimes one of the varieties lags behind the others. Like this is a Stella cherry. And it didn't grow as well as the other grafts around it. And I'm kind of bending it a little bit. This branch was growing out the other side. So kind of training out a bit. This thing is the sour cherry bush. Very disease resistant. Cherries are sour, but you can always sweeten them with sugar and recipes. But yeah, I don't need to really spray this thing. Apparently we do get a peach borer. I haven't seen it on this tree, but I'll still be spraying the trunk with permethrin or permethrin when the time comes. My peach tree does have borers in it, the one next to it. Yeah, so I discovered the borers over the summer, and I did kill a lot of them. So hopefully this will be on the mend. I don't see any of the sap coming out, or I guess it's called frass, like the wood dust mixed with dookie. But yeah, this thing I overloaded it last year, so it doesn't have too many blooms this year. So I really don't need to thin them. I'm just gonna cover them so they don't get worms. So this tree, I had some hesitation that it would survive the winter. This is the Jiro Fuyu, which is grafted on a native persimmon. And I stuck a bunch of hachiya on top. And yeah, they're good. But my other tree, I'll show you in a minute, does have some dried up wood, so I don't know what happened with that one. But this one looks good. Grafts are here. What did I do, like 6 grafts on here? cleft and bud. This one actually got torn off by the wind. So timing is important for grafting these. I grafted them in mid-April and the signs were dormant. I think that's why I had good success. And I also used zip ties, so it was tight. All right, this is the big Jiro Fuyu. So I do see damage. I don't know if this was... We did have a whitefly infestation and there was a lot of sooty mold, so I wonder if this is just got exacerbated by the cold. But yeah, some of these stems are dry. Actually, that's not dry. Yeah, this looks good. Yeah, I'm seeing more buds now that the weather has warmed up. So yeah, this black stuff, I think this is the sooty mold from the whiteflies. Other than that, the trunk is not damaged. Okay, so this is a fruiting spur, I guess. Had fruit last year. See, it's dry, but that could just be because it's a fruiting spur, and I don't know enough about persimmons. Yeah, that's pliable. Well, I think it's okay. There's probably other reasons why these sticks are dry, and see, this one isn't. I don't know enough about persimmons, but I know this one is marginally cold hardy. This is only for zone 7A. It's as cold as it can get. I will know more soon as the temperature warms up and the tree comes out of dormancy. Oh, look, here's a green bud on this one. Big Afghansky. No signs of life yet. Just kidding. There's some buds here turning red, swelling up. If I scratch the bark, it's green underneath. Which reminds me, I gotta check on the other pomegranates. This is what I'm most interested in. This is the Citrumelo, the soft-seeded pomegranate. And it appears to be zone 7A hardy. I don't see any splitting in the bark. And there's some buds down here closer to the ground. I don't know if it's coming up on camera, but compared to the wonderful pomegranate, that one tends to crack all the way down to the ground level and then it dies back. So I don't see that here. I think it's safe to say this is zone 7A hardy. And of course, these are also Afghansky from the main tree I showed you. These are fine. Pretty sure I see some buds growing out. Yep. So yeah, I've made enough videos about the Afghansky, but it's never been this cold. So that's a winner as well. Pineapple guavas all got fried over here, but there is some green. Let me see. Scratch. Yeah. So these might resprout. Too early to tell. They are dropping leaves, so that's a good sign. That's a quince from seed. Well, I guess I could talk about this quince. So I planted a bunch of quince from a grocery store. I don't know the variety, but I kept the plants that didn't have rust on them. So hopefully they stay clear like this. And I have another quince up against the wall, the other side of the yard, which I wanted to graft a loquat on. So we'll see if I can do that this season. These are seedling sweethearts. And as far as I can tell, they also survived the winter. There's 3 distinct plants here from seed, maybe 4, unless that's just coming up from the root, but you can see plant 1, 2, and 3, and I think I see some red buds down here. Good sign, and no bark splitting. Oh yeah, there's some red buds here. So zone 7 hardy. These are all pineapple guavas, which I've been cloning the same plant and then I found out that they're not self-fertile. When I had it in a pot, I had a different clone, so they were cross-pollinating each other. Even though I thought I self-pollinated and I got fruit, but maybe the wind or some birds pollinated. I did put my calamondin outside here under the grill cover. Gave it some fertilizer, did liquid as well as spray 1 week apart for these yellowing leaves. I don't know what to do with these fruit, honestly. Potted Feijoa, which I'm going to graft with a self-fertile variety called Taka or Takaka, maybe Taka. Double check on that. But yeah, I've been researching and people say cleft grafts work the best. So maybe I'll do a cleft graft around here and I'll maybe root one of the signs in case I kill this by cutting it back. Or I don't want side grafts. I don't want a bush here in this pot. I'd rather have a little tree because it looks nice. Could also just steal a branch here, graft the Takaka here, and then let them cross each other so I don't potentially lose the entire tree. I think that might be the better idea. So maybe cut here and graft it onto this one. I did a short on this. This is seed grown nectarine. I was pretty diligent about spraying it with copper, so I hope I don't get the peach leaf curl on this one. My name variety doesn't get it as bad, but this one, yeah, seemed to get it a lot. So that is a risk you get from growing from seed. Some plants can be more susceptible to diseases as well as flowering too early, but I think we're okay with this one. In terms of the flowering, there's one more like 32 or 31 frost predicted, but that shouldn't harm the fruit. I think the fruit gets harmed at 28 when they're small. I do grow one blueberry bush. I don't like to grow the blueberries because the soil here is not acidic in North Jersey. Pine Barrens is where they're grown. But what was I gonna say about this? Yeah, I do have a few berries. I showed you the honeyberry, the serviceberry, which is actually technically in the apple family, pear family. So we do like berries, blueberries. This is not a currant, the hybrid. What is it called? Just a berry? No. But yeah, this is flowering. This is self-fertile. And I don't know if I've had the fruit at the right time. Because the pictures of the plant when I bought it online, they're showing like a red grape-looking fruit. But they've only ever been green, so maybe I'm not picking them at the right time. And also this plant gets burned. Yeah, this plant tends to get sunburn here at the end of the season. It looks kind of raggedy. But the berries are good. Maybe a little on the tart side, which is why I think I'm picking them too early. But we do like all types of berries here, except dingleberries. This Sunki times Poncirus is not hardy in zone 7. It dies at 5 degrees, but it'll resprout from the trunk. I use these bottles to prevent the weed whacker from hitting the trunks, but it could be having a greenhouse effect, which then makes the sap go up and then freezes. So this is another bishop. This one did also get injured on the younger growth, but the main trunk here is alive. And I think I see some bud swelling, maybe. I don't want to get too close. I'm not wearing glasses. I'm going to poke my eye out with this thing, but so I was very surprised that I forgot I grafted US 942 on here. So this one, I don't know if it's going to focus, actually looks like it made it through the winter. Grafted on this Poncirus. And down here, somewhere, is another bud graft. Yeah, I did wrap the trunk here. The Poncirus did get a little bit of splitting from early spring freeze. And hopefully it doesn't go downhill from here. Like what happened to the Morton right here. The Morton is all blown up. But there was some green down here, which I've since wrapped. Well, we'll see if that can recover. Like I said, I have a copy of this in the greenhouse, so not a big deal if I lose it. Yeah, this bishop looks weird. Well, my main graft on the big tie try is okay, so if we lose this, like I said, no big deal. The infamous Prague Chimera on Flying Dragon, which I wrapped for bark cracks, is also sprouting. This tree refuses to die, which is great. And it even has a split here from the snow bending it back, which is on the mend. Another Poncirus Plus. This one is on its own roots. And yeah, there's a few, more than a dozen flower buds, I would say, but that's not a dozen. Whatever. Okay. This thing here was the graft of the Miho times Poncirus. And this one gets also full sun in this spot. And underneath the main graft that broke, I had this spare graft, which is going to leaf out. So I cut this one off, and we're just going to keep that one for now. All right, that fast flowering trifoliate that I pruned last season into the single kind of trunk here is covered in buds. And these flowers are always kind of, I guess when the plant is younger, they're not really fully developed, but they still become fruit. This one might be overloaded, so I don't think many of these will become fruit. Not at this size, at least. But yeah, I'm not going to save this pollen. From what I read on forums, you need, I guess, two of the mutations for this to flower at a year. This is all fast flowering trifoliate, which is grafted onto I try. This is blooming. The flowers always look kind of weird on this one compared to the standard Poncirus. The Prague is starting to leaf out, so it did survive. I don't know if the camera's going to focus, but let's see some leaf buds there. Are the leaf buds in the room with us? Yes, right there. But this is not going to flower yet, maybe a few more weeks. Swingle next to it is also leafing out, as well as the Ivagraphs. So yeah, they did survive just fine. Oh, just a little bit of like these marks from the, I guess, ice. I don't know. Something. As well as US 852, or rather Bishop. Bishop is also leafing out. Or starting to. But I do have to cut back some of this younger growth. I'll be pruning out a lot of the damaged stuff. But anyways, let me show you the rest of the flowers. Alright, that's the Poncirus Plus tree. So it does have maybe a dozen flowers. Some of them are functionally male, so I'm gonna store the flowers so I can save the pollen for later. The ones that do have the female parts, like this one here, I pollinated it with ponderosa, which is not going to be hardy if there is a cross, but it's the only pollen I have at the moment. And this here is Thomasville, which died all the way down to the graft. So that might resprout. The camera would focus. It's a little green there. I'm going to cut all the dead wood and just leave this wood here at the union. Morton did get really damaged, a lot of bark cracks, but it's alive down here. I even wrapped it, try and save it, but we'll see what happens. I have copies of this in the greenhouse, so it's okay. These lower buds here are growing out. Just put them back and knock them off so they don't rob the energy. That's an 802, US 802. Interesting. Looks alive, but I don't know if this can sprout. I don't see a bud. That's a pomelo times trifoliate or Poncirus. Anyways. Oh, the Miho times Poncirus is also... So this graft is sprouting. Please focus. And off here. The main graft is also sprouting. So when you graft a variety, you should try different techniques, so you always have another backup on the same tree. So unfortunately, the Tri XL, it looked good at the end of the winter, but I think we got one of those late or early spring freezes rather. And yeah, it's died back and there were cracks, so I did cut it back a little bit. It's green here at the base, so it should resprout. So I think if this was a little bit bigger, a little older, it probably would have survived. Because my Tri against the wall there is just fine. The Dragon Lime also did get some dieback, but it's still green down here. And actually, I think I see some buds there. So yeah, I think that'll recover okay.
See you all in the next update. Bye.